Hello there and welcome once more to USR1 Retro. Thank you very much for joining me for this video for USR1 Retro Goes to the Movies. I'm going to do something a little bit different to my normal videos. Now, with the advent of 4K, we're getting loads of upgrades to various movies, especially in the US where they've got the Man with No Name trilogy on 4K, as well as loads of other films as well. But one of the other things is that the amount of films they've got on Blu-ray that we haven't got over here, whether it's to do with rights or whatever, I don't know. So I'm going to go through. It's just a small list of basically films that haven't been released in this country on Blu-ray that really should. I think it's a crying shame. Who knows? After this video's been put onto YouTube, who knows? We might get some of these films on our shores, and that we won't have to pay stupid amounts to import them. But the first one I'm going to go with is, in my eyes, it's a classic take on the Magnificent Seven, set in space with Richard Thomas as Shad. You've got George Papada's Cowboy. You've got Robert Vaughn as Gelt. And then you've got Sybil Danning as what's her name? Oh, she's of the Valkyrie race anyway. And it's Battle Beyond the Stars, released by Roger Corman's New World Pictures in 1980. The only copy we've had here in the UK is a VHS version and a few re-releases as well. We never had the DVD. We've never had the Blu-ray. In actual fact, I've had to import a copy and do my own cover. Because basically, this is a Spanish import. Cover wasn't all that good, so I redone it with the UK name and with the font used for the UK. I love the film, I really do. I think it's a cracking sci-fi version of the Magnificent Seven. Some parts of it are a bit cheesy, and John Saxon hamming it up. Like the legend that he was. I love the film. I enjoy it every single time I put it on. The set design from James Cameron, and I think Bill Paxton as well worked on the set design as well. I think he was a carpenter on it. So before he started getting into acting, he worked on that film with James Cameron. And the music by James Horner was second to none. Absolutely love the score. Got it on my phone, listened to it as many times as possible, and I've even got a hard copy on CD as well. It's a classic film, and it's one that I absolutely love and adore, and it's just a shame that we have to buy import copies just so we can have a copy here in the UK. It needs a UK release. 88 films released Humanoids from the Deep. I think it was last year or the beginning of this year. So, I'm still hopeful. If I get a copy, I can retire that copy or keep it as a backup. But in the meantime, that will do me for now until we can get a proper release of it. It needs to happen. It really does need to happen. 88 films. Get on it. Get on it. The next title was released on VHS. It was released on DVD, but it hasn't had a Blu-ray release, and that is a crying shame. The first time I watched this was actually on YouTube. Someone had actually ripped the Blu-ray, stuck it on YouTube, and picture quality was actually very, very good indeed. First time I watched it, I wasn't very taken by it, but I thought, you know what, I'll watch it again, and something clicked, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just an awesome underwater monster movie released round about the same time as James Cameron's famous underwater movie, and another underwater movie called Leviathan, starring Peter Weller and Richard Crenna, Ernie Hudson, Hector Gonzalez. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. And Lisa Elbacker as well, and I think Daniel Stern as well. Daniel Stern's in it. That's another film that needs a UK Blu-ray release. It's only available on Region A Blu-ray from Shout Factory, and I think it's even out of print now, which is a shame. It needs a UK release as well. But the one I'm talking about stars Matt McCoy, Nia Peoples, Miguel Ferrer, Greg Evigan, Nancy Everhard, and was directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who directed was it the first Friday the 13th? Yes, it was. It was the first Friday the 13th movie, and it was produced by Mario Kassar and Andrew Wagner under the Carol Co. line, and it is Deep Star 6. They basically blast a hole in the bottom of this like cavern, and there's like an even bigger cavern underneath, and as soon as they do that, they unleash this huge beast, and it gets into the undersea platform, and it basically starts to cause havoc, and it starts to kill them off one by one. Great film, very, very great film. Some awesome special effects. Well, I think it's KFB, Nicotero. I did know their names. I'm so sorry, but it's KNB. Sorry, Kurtzman, Nicotero, and Berger. There you go, Kurtzman, Nicotero, and Berger, who've done the special effects for Evil Dead 2, and they are absolutely fantastic in this, especially with the monster, you know, and the model work and all that is absolutely brilliant, and it is a really good way to spend an hour and 40 minutes. It really is. This needs a UK release for those who haven't got a copy. I was able to get this quite cheap on eBay. I think it was about 18 quid. And it was just pure chance that I came across it. And you know what? I'm so glad I was able to get this. But it needs a UK release. It really does need it really does. More people need to see it. It's just a blast. It really is, in more ways than one. But no, Deep Star 6, fantastic film. I mean, even if you just get the DVD version for now, but it's a film that needs a UK Blu-ray release. And I could probably see someone like Arrow doing a pretty good version of that with a new transfer, even in 4K. I reckon that could be a winner over here, definitely. Now, the next one is, I think it's one of Brendan Fraser's first films. I think this was about 92, 93 this came out. And I first watched it on Laserdisc. I think it was Christmas 2021. I mean, it even might have been my wife's DVD in the States. And it's a film that has, to my knowledge, not been released on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. And that is a crying shame, as this is actually quite a lot of fun. And it's California Man, or as our American cousins know it as, Encino Man, where Brendan Fraser is a Cro-Magnon man, caveman, frozen in ice, and he's dug up in the early 90s by Sean Austin and Pauly Shore, who then proceed to thaw him out and teach him the ways of the world in the early 90s. You know, it's a fun film. It's It's got a lot of laughs going for it, and it's one that I love. It's just a criminal shame that, sorry, a crying shame, sorry, that there hasn't been a Blu-ray release of this anywhere in the world. I mean, people have taken a high def, I think it's 1080p rip, and they put it on Blu-ray themselves to sell. As much as I would love one of those, I would rather hold out and get a proper Blu-ray release of that, because it's deserving of it. It really is deserving of it. It's just a fun film, and I love it so much, and I love Brendan Fraser. I mean, who doesn't? It's Brendan Fraser. One other one I want to add before I get onto this very last one. The original Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. It's been released in the US on Blu-ray. It's been released in France on Blu-ray, because I have a copy of it in an Ultimate Stallone Steelbook box set with the Assassins, the Specialist, Cobra, and Demolition Man. Fantastic set. I got that quite cheap ages ago, and it's got an alternate dubbing for Taco Bell, so it's Pizza Hut, because obviously, like back then, no one in Europe knew what Taco Bell was, so they dubbed over with Pizza Hut, because apparently it won the franchise wars. But no, that needs, Judge Dredd needs a proper UK Blu-ray release, or even 4K, especially with the effects work that was done. I mean, the model shots are absolutely fantastic. The CG on it, not as good as it could be. Does look a little bit flat in some shots. But overall, I mean, I enjoy the film for what it is. I know loads of people trying to say, "Oh yeah, but it's crap because he doesn't take it, because he takes his helmet off." I don't let that, like in the books, he doesn't take his helmet off, and in the film he took it off. That doesn't bother me. I love Judge Dredd. I've just recently got Volume 5 of the complete case files, because apparently it's the best one to start off with, because it's got the Apocalypse War overarching storyline. And yeah, as I say, people moaned, "Oh, he takes his helmet off in the movie and he doesn't do it in the comic books. Oh, it's a load of crap." I like it for what it is. It's a Judge Dredd action movie, and apparently it's based on an overarching storyline of, obviously people know what the film Judge Dredd's about. His twin brother is Rico, who he put down years ago for wanting to kill people and basically create a new world order, I think it is. And he basically frames him for murder and gets Judge Dredd sent to Aspen Penal Colony. And he basically manages to find a way to get back to Mega City 1 and prove his innocence. As I say, I love the film for what it is. For me, it's an enjoyable ride. It always has been for me. You know, I mean, I first saw it on rental VHS back in 96, I think it was. Cinema 95, rental 96. Yep, and then I bought it 6 months after that when it came out to buy. But yeah, it's one that needs a UK Blu-ray release, if not a UK 4K release. It really does. And they need to do a version of that film with the deleted scenes put back into like a proper director's cut. Get Danny Cannon back on board and say, "Look, we're sorry for everything that happened." You know, Stallone needs to turn and say, "I'm sorry for everything that happened." You know, we want you to go back, do the film the way you wanted it, with like all the violence and that, because apparently it was meant to have been a lot more violent. There's supposed to be some more character scenes in there as well. And it was meant to be a lot longer. And there's also meant to be a bit when Rico hatches or gets Central to hatch the clones in the final fight. Dredd's supposed to fight them and destroy the machine, but it just blows up anyway in the version that we got, which is, you know, it's a bit of a big plot hole. So I would love a 4K release with the theatrical version, director's cut, or at the very least, the theatrical cut, the behind the scenes that was on the VHS and the French Blu-ray, interviews, as I say, deleted scenes, storyboards, the whole shebang. You know, maybe even look at like the special effects and stuff like that. That would be my ideal 4K release of that film for certain, and I would buy that in a heartbeat. I just love the film so much. I even got a rental VHS that I bought a while ago, you know, and I even had the original DVD that came out, and I wish I never got rid of it. But, you know, I love the film, so I'll pick them up at some point soon. But no, that's another one that needs a UK release on 4K or Blu-ray. You know, will we get it? Who knows? Who knows? Now, the very last film I'm going to look at in this video, well, not look at, but say what needs a UK release. It's a favourite of mine. It was a favourite of my dad's, and I watched it recently, and I loved it even more. And it is John Wayne's epic, The Alamo. This needs a UK Blu-ray release. I don't think there has been one yet, if at all. You know, as I said in one of my pickup video with this one in, I had to import this. I bought it off of Amazon in the UK, and you get the director's cut, which is on for 3 hours 22 minutes, which was only available on Laserdisc. Now, what would I want on a UK Blu-ray or 4K? I would probably want the theatrical version. I would love the director's cut done in HD, full HD. I would like the special features that are on here, but in English. If there's any more deleted scenes, if like maybe like interviews with some of like surviving cast members, you know, if there's any like do like a retrospective like documentary. I think the making of the Alamo that's on here, I think this is an original an original documentary from back when it was made, so I wouldn't mind a retrospective documentary. You know, I wouldn't mind if they had like a poster gallery for all the different film posters and stuff like that, you know, and maybe like a gallery from like all the different, if there's like Betamax releases, VHS releases, DVD releases, you know, all that sort of thing, because that would really interest me, you know, and maybe have like reversible artwork with like the original poster art and newly commissioned artwork, you know. And maybe one of the special features could be like the Alamo today, of like someone going around, obviously getting permission from the people who run the Alamo to like basically just do like filming and that, because I know that you can't take photos in now for some reason, because I went there a few years ago. I think it was about 2018. We went down there, and it was an experience. It really was an experience. I loved it. It was enjoyable. But they said that there was no photography and you couldn't film, so you'd have to get special permission to do it. But that would just be amazing, just to have like a video tour of the Alamo and have that on that disc as well, or on 4K, you know, have the film on 4K, have the film on Blu-ray, and have a special features disc, or maybe even have the film on 4K, the film on Blu-ray, the extended director's cut on Blu-ray on another disc, and then maybe another disc of special features, or even have the special features on the theatrical cut Blu-ray. That would be an ideal set for certain. I mean, as I say, this film does need a UK Blu-ray release for those who want to get this film. I was lucky enough to get this quite cheap, but as I say, it's just another film that needs a UK Blu-ray release. I mean, there's loads of John Wayne fans like in the UK, you know, and I know that they would love to get their hands on a copy. They really, really would. And it's just a shame that, you know, movie like boutique labels aren't picking some of these films up. You know, because I can imagine Kino Lorber doing a pretty good release of that. I could probably imagine Arrow Video or even the Criterion Collection doing a pretty good job of that. You know, and it would be nice to see. It really would be nice to see. Actually, you know what? I've just seen another one in my collection that could do with actually another two that could do with UK Blu-ray releases. And the first one's Nuns on the Run. Absolutely classic heist. Well, I say a heist film. It's more kind of a chase film. Eric Idle, Robbie Coltrane as two guys who work for this gangster and they want to get out. So on their last job, the gangsters are going to try and have them bumped off, but they decide to turn the tables and steal the proceeds of a robbery that they've stolen off the triads, and they have to basically hide in a nunnery until they can get plane tickets and escape the country. But it's also complicated by the fact that Eric Idle's character, Brian, he actually starts to fall in love with the waitress of the bar that he goes into, like the gambling bar that he goes into. And it's a very funny film, very good film. I mean, in fact, I've got it on Laserdisc in the States, and my wife even said that she actually thought it was quite a charming little film. She really enjoyed it, you know. Sorry, I just had to scratch my foot there. Sorry. But yeah, that's another film that needs a Blu-ray release, and I could see Arrow doing a pretty damn good job of it. You know, instead of releasing all these different versions of one film, you know, Nuns on the Run's right there. Put that one on there. Do a documentary, you know, if there's like a mini making of from back in the day, put that on there. I mean, obviously they can't interview Robbie Coltrane because he sadly passed away, but have like a memorial featurette for him, you know. I mean, that would be nice to have as an extra, you know. But yeah, Nuns on the Run, that would be an excellent film to have on Blu-ray or even 4K, you know, and having like the yellow soundtrack coming out your speakers. That would be amazing. That really would. The other two, so I'm going to add one more. And I promise I won't keep you for long, I swear. It's dated ever so much now, this next one. And over here it was called Teen Agent, but in the US, and I think Australia as well, it was called If Looks Could Kill. Now, I've got the Warner Archive release from Australia, and it's dated badly, especially with some of the things, you know, but I do find it quite a fun Bond-esque film, you know, like mistaken identity and bad guys trying to do away with people, and this kid who's thought to be like an American like CIA agent gets, you know, goes on this epic journey, you know, instead of doing a French field trip for high school so he can earn his grades. It is fun, and as I say, there are some things in it which now are questionable, but I mean, I like it, and yeah, I would love to see a Blu-ray version of the film. You know, will it happen? Probably not. But I mean, I'm just happy to have it on DVD. I really am. But I mean, to have a proper Blu-ray copy, fully remastered and everything, I'd pay good money for it. I really would. I'd pay damn good money for it. But the last one. I swear this is the very last one. Now, this is one that myself and many other people have been badgering Arrow for. They've been badgering other labels to do. And for some reason, I do not see why it hasn't had a UK DVD or Blu-ray release. It's had a US DVD release. It's even had a US Blu-ray release twice with a 4K version coming out. I think it's already out from Arrow Video, and it's The Last Starfighter. It dumbfuddles me why this film has not been released in the UK on disc. I mean, as I say, in the US, it's had VHS, it's had Laserdisc, it's had DVD, it's had 2 Blu-ray releases and a 4K release. And what have we got? VHS. Wow. It needs a UK Blu-ray. I've had to import the original Universal Blu-ray, and it will do me for now. If it was released over here on Blu-ray via Arrow or even 88 Films, and they put a shit ton of special features on it, and it was in 4K, I would snap that up like a fat kid in a bakery. I really, really would. I know I shouldn't really use that term, but it's the only thing that I could think of that would say how much I want that film on Blu-ray, because it's just an awesome film. You know, I mean, I know many people have seen it, so I won't go over the plot, but it's just a film that I feel, if sold over here, it would sell extremely well. It really would. If you're watching this, get onto Arrow, get onto 88 Films, get onto Criterion, you know, get them to get the rights to the film and release it in the UK on Blu-ray. It needs a UK release, and I can't think why. I mean, I know the US rights was Universal, because it was done Universal Lorimar. Over here, when it was released on VHS, it was released by Channel 5 Video, which I believe was Polygram. I have got a VHS, it's over there somewhere, but it's buried, so I can't get to it. But I'm certain it was Channel 5/Polygram had the UK rights for VHS, and I'm certain it was released as just Lorimar Telepictures, or just Lorimar Pictures, one of the two. So I don't know who they go to for the UK rights, and that's probably the reason why you can't get a UK Blu-ray of it, or even a UK DVD, and that's sad. You know, I mean, surely the rights for the whole film would have reverted to Universal, surely. You know, and if that's the case, Universal should release it. I say, I would snap that up in a heartbeat as well. You know, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens over the next 12 months. Who knows? 12, 18 months, let's just say, or even 2 years. You know, it might be one of those things where someone over here will pick up the rights for it and they will release it. But, you know, like with many of the films, but we'll just have to wait and see. We really, really will. So anyway, that's it for this episode. As I say, I wanted to do something just a little bit different to my normal pickups videos, to my normal look at films, to my normal game videos. You know, and I hope that, you know, look at this and go, oh yeah, I would love to see that film on UK Blu-ray. Or even if you're in the US and you haven't had a Blu-ray release of certain films, you know, you go, oh, I wish they'd have that on the Blu-ray in the US. You know, because it does make me wonder what lies in store for some of these films. You know, but anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. It all helps, and also pressing the little bell just down there, and you'll be notified of any new videos that I upload in the future. So until the next video, this is USR1 Retro saying thank you very much for tuning in. Look after yourselves, look after one another, and I'll see you in the next video. And this is USR1 Retro signing off. Goodbye for now.